Hey kids, it's Papa. You ready to explore the Bible? All right. Well, last time we talked, David was about ready to fight Goliath. Now, he picked up those 5 smooth stones. Somebody say, why 5? Well, actually, Goliath had 4 brothers, and they were also big. And that's why some people think that he picked up 5. Personally, I think that David was just filling up his pouch with stones that would do the job and getting ready for whatever needed to be done. I think he was thinking ahead and saying, okay, if I miss with the first one, maybe the Lord wants him to get closer and maybe I'll get him with the second one. I don't know what David's reasoning was. I do know that that Goliath had 4 brothers, and so they were probably also warriors and probably also big. But in any case, so David yells out to him, and Saul and Goliath curses him, and in any case, the Bible says that Goliath started coming at him, and David actually started running towards Goliath. The Bible says in verse 48, now we're looking at 1 Samuel chapter 17, and verse 48 says, and David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone, and he slang it, and he smote the Philistine in the forehead, so that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. Now, a couple of things you need to realize here. First of all, when you are running, you're not going to be as accurate with that sling. A sling isn't a slingshot because they didn't have elastic back then, okay? A slingshot is a thing where you've got, elastic attached to either side and a pouch, and you pull it back and then you let go and ding, that's a slingshot. A sling is 2 cords coming down to a pouch, and you hold the ends of the cords and you put a stone in the pouch and you swing that thing round and around and around, and you let go of one of those ends and the rock comes out and it's moving pretty fast. But this had to have been really moving fast because Bible says here that the stone actually sunk into his forehead and he fell down upon his face to the earth. Now, we're not exactly sure if the stone killed him or if what happened next killed him, whether he was just knocked unconscious, we're not sure. But in any case, he fell down upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling, with a stone, and he smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion dead, they fled. So it was a great day. But I want you to think about this. He slung the sling. The stone went fast, and it hit. Now we don't know why he aimed right here, but that's where he aimed. That's where it hit him. Many people believe that was probably the only place on Goliath that was exposed. Now, he had a helmet, and so, he couldn't hit him elsewhere in the head. And he probably had, a chest plate and greaves and everything covering his body. So that was probably the best place to hit him, and it worked. The stone sunk into his head. He fell forward. And David ran up, and the Bible says stood on top of him, grabbed his sword, pulled it out. It's had to have been a big sword, very big for David to wield. And he slew him. Now, if he slew him by stabbing him, we don't know, because he would have been laying on his stomach, and thus his back was exposed. Or he may have killed him by cutting off his head. We don't know. But any way you look at it, David killed Goliath. And when the Philistines saw this, now think about this. The Philistines are saying, yeah, this is our hero, Goliath. He's our best soldier, and he's down there, and I'm sure he'll win. What? He died? This little boy, David, killed him? They couldn't believe it. And what they thought, because back then, there were countries were very, very superstitious. because now Israel had a God and they counted on Jehovah. They knew that he would defend them, okay? But these other countries had false gods, and they cried out to these gods, but these false gods were rather fickle, and they didn't know whether the God was going to show up that day and help them out or not. But obviously, because David had killed Goliath, in the Philistines' minds, in the superstitious mind, in the mind that has no faith in Jehovah, they were thinking, ooh, apparently Israel's God showed up today and ours didn't. Let's get out of here. And so they ran and they panicked. And the Bible says that the Israeli army chased after them and defeated them. And it was a great day for Israel. All because one boy believed God. He just believed God. He knew what had to be done, and he went out and he did it. And he did it in faith. He didn't do it in his own strength or in his own confidence. Now, he had skills, but he wasn't relying on those. He was relying upon God. And God always comes through for the people that trust in him. Okay? You got to remember that. Because there are going to be times when you don't know what to do and you don't know which way to turn and you don't know what the best decision is. Just do what's right, because God always shows up for his children. You believe that? Now, you're not only the children of James and Sarah. You are the children of God. And God always shows up for his children. If his children believe in him, God's always going to show up. Okay? Just believe that. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.